Howdy. You doing good?
I am doing good. Twice in a month. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Got room for one here?
God knows where he
I'm breathing in.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Swanamill Valley. My name is Leif Nefsted, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Here on Montreat Road, we are a welcoming congregation, standing together on the side of love and justice. Let us walk through this life with open hearts and open minds, and as one of my favorites of the 8 principles is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We should all be able to do that as we wish. First things first, I'd ask everyone to silence or turn off their cell phones. And one of my favorite traditions, and one of the things I enjoyed when I first got here, was welcoming our first and second time visitors, or those that haven't been with us in quite a while. So stand if you're willing and able and introduce yourselves, tell us where you're from. So I'll do left side first here, if anybody is new.
I'm Peggy, and this is my son Clay Lewis. I've been here once before. This is the first time here. We're from Asheville.
Welcome. Thank you. Going once, going twice. All right, on the right here, any new visitors?
My name is Hera, I'm from Woodton, or live in Woodton.
Welcome. All right, any others over on the right here? So alongside that, one thing you will find is our welcome. So you can sign up for some extra information or become a member. These are in either the back of the pews or in the hymnals. There's also a stack of them in the back. You can also look for anyone with orange name tag badges. Those are our membership committee, so you can ask them any questions or get some help with that there as well. So the next would be our land acknowledgement. We want to make sure that we remind ourselves that the land we own is currently and was native land. We respect and value the people and culture of this land that was taken. So with respect, the land that we are on today is the ancestral home of the Cherokee and of other indigenous people. The Cherokee, through stewardship, understanding, and conservation, survive and thrive in this land. We acknowledge their enduring connection to their homeland. And one of the other things, I did mention one of them already, but we have the 8 principles on the back of our handouts as well. That's kind of the guiding principles of Unitarian Universalism. And I do have a special announcement today too. So please come today to the Black Mountain Library's Write Local, Read Local book fair. That's right here in Black Mountain. Local authors will be showcasing their latest books from 1 to 4 p.m. And our own Jim Carillion is scheduled to read aloud a few poems from his latest book of poetry called Journeys from 1 to 1:15. So please come promptly to hear some of Jim's poetry at 1 p.m. today. And if you don't, you'll miss. It's very good. And we'll hope to see you there. And for other announcements and things like that, we do have our current. So you can sign up for that. It's an email list. There's also the board right behind the wall there. And what I want to make sure is that we spend the time together in this place to make us braver, more compassionate, and wiser than how we arrived this morning. Now let our service begin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What a week. So you know what? I want to do this now before we get into the service. I know some of you out there are really frustrated, aren't you? Yeah. What are you doing Thursday at 2 o'clock? Do you want to come here and just get it out? I mean, I'll be here if you want to come here to just talk. I mean, we don't have any solutions right now. Well, I'll be here. If you decide to come here, I'll be here. But I know some people just need to talk and need to get together. So how many people here would be interested in that? Okay. The other people is because Thursday's not good. I could do Wednesday. No? Yeah, but I got some pastoral care stuff I have to be here for. So let's say Wednesday, let's say Thursday at 2?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll see you here. Okay, just we'll meet in here. The words of Anne Frank are apropos for this morning. She says, I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come right. That this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. In the meantime, I must uphold my ideals, for perhaps the time will come when I shall be able to carry them out. So, those wise words, I invite you to stand as you are willing and able, and join in singing our opening hymn this morning, number 29, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore. After my second divorce, I cut it from grief. I can survive this. So, having said that, that is out of the way. Our responsive reading is in the back of the great hymnal 656. We'll read, pardon me, responsively. 656. Because despite it all, it's all about gratitude. And so this is called a harvest of gratitude. And again, we'll read responsibly. Once more, the fields have ripened to harvest, and the fruitful earth has fulfilled the promise of spring.
The work of those who labor has been rewarded. They have sown and reaped, planted and gathered.
How rich and beautiful is the bounty gathered, the golden grain and clustered corn, the grapes of purple and green.
The crimson
Apples and yellow pears, and all the colors of orchard and garden, vineyard and field.
Season follows after season, after winter the spring, after summer the harvest-laden autumn.
From bud to blossom, from flower to fruit, from seed to bud again, the beauty of earth unfolds.
From the harvest of the soil, we are given occasion to garner a harvest of the heart and mind.
A harvest of resolve to be careful stewards of all life's gifts and opportunities.
A harvest of reverence for the wondrous power and life at work in things that grow and in the soul.
A harvest of gratitude for every good which we enjoy, and the fellowship for all who are sustained by earth's beauty.
Sunday, and excuse me, I lost my front tooth, so it's hard to say second Sunday without lisping. We're so happy to have Encore, a trio, including Deb and Ro, who have been playing and singing together since 1977 when they met at Kent State University. Wow. They played coffee houses, fundraisers, and small concert venues all throughout college, and music has been a part of their life ever since. And Spence is a longtime drummer. All appearances aside, he is proud of his tenure as the house percussionist at UU Church of Chapel Hill, and time spent singing bass in various UU choirs, as well as here at the UU CSV, and he loves playing with Encore. He also likes to compose songs inspired by the blues and Americana genres. If you don't already have a copy, pick up his 2015 CD, Ghosts of the North and South, in the portico. They are free.
So, oh, that sounds better. I heard my audio needed to be up a little bit, so that sounds great. All right. Well, it's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? It's been a couple of weeks. All of us trying to get over Helene and Mother Nature showing us who's really boss. And we got up from that, and everybody's been doing their best to help one another. And then November 5th happened. And so I was like, okay, knock down one more time. Let's see if we can stand up again. And then, I've been struggling a little bit. November 6th happened. When those ugly text messages started going around to our young people in 21 states so far, scaring the bejesus out of folks, talking about it's your time to, join the slaves on the plantation. So that's going on right now, y'all. Right now. And so, trying to remember that every time you get knocked down, you gotta stand back up. And that's what this song is about. It is from a wonderful African-American singer-songwriter, country genre, Americana genre. Her name is Reese Palmer. And she wrote this song in 2014 after Michael Brown was gunned down by a policeman in Ferguson, Missouri. And she was feeling pretty helpless, as were a lot of people around her. And she thought, I've got to do something. And so she wrote this song. And actually the chorus is on the back of your programs. And it is from a Greek poet by the name of Dino Christianopoulos. And he wrote, they may try to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Yes, it's on the back of your program. If you feel like you're singing the chorus when it gets to it, please help me out. Let's sing it a little bit. Brothers and sisters, they may break your bones, they can bury your body, but only release your soul. They may build you a prison, never cage your mind. Insist you're nothing, never believe that lie. You're too free, you're too proud, shine too bright, speak too loud. When they come to cut you down, that's when you gotta stand your ground. When you bury your dreams, we'll push them up through concrete. We'll throw it where they can't see. We'll push on because we are seeds. When we rise up, no one can stop us. No wall can block us. No hate can stop us. We are seeds.
So this is the time in the service when we invite you to come and you know what we usually do. And we put the stones and all that in there. And, you can light a candle, and or you can use the stones, and the floor is yours. Does anyone need me to bring this to you, the stones? Okay. This is a stone for those of you who, for whatever reason, decided not to come up, but just know we keep you in our thoughts and prayers. We have a UFO in the building. I told you they existed. You didn't want to believe me.
Solid, I thought.
Yeah, well, they're little people sometimes. Yeah. I was just thinking, about that. You know, there are congressional hearings, the second ones this year on Wednesday at 10. So maybe you shouldn't come Wednesday. Thursday's good. I need to be listening to the hearings. But don't forget Thursday at 2. These words are from Dr. Howard Thurman that I thought were apropos from a book called Deep is the Hunger. So just center yourselves as you usually do, as you see fit, and we will have our usual time of quiet afterwards. This is the season of gathering in, the season of the harvest in nature. Many things that were started in the spring and early summer have grown to fruition and are now ready for reaping. Great and significant as is the harvest in nature, the most patient kind of ingathering for the human spirit is what I call the harvest of the heart. Long ago, the teacher Jesus said that when human beings should not lay up for themselves treasures on earth where moths corrupt and thieves break in and steal, but that we should lay up our treasures in heaven. This insight suggests that life consists of planting and harvesting, of sowing and reaping. We are always in the midst of the harvest and always in the midst of planting. The words that we use in communication, the profound stirrings of the mind out of which thoughts and ideas arise, the ebb and flow of desires out of which the simple or complex deed develops, are all caught in the process of reaping and sowing, of sowing and reaping, of planting and harvesting. There are no anonymous deeds, no casual processes. Living is a shared process. Even as I am conscious of things growing in me, planted by others, which things are always ripening, so others are conscious of things growing in them that are planted by me. These things are always ripening, and inasmuch as I do not live or die by myself, it is of the essence of wisdom for me conscientiously to live and die in the profound awareness of other people, of I not being alone. The statement, know thyself, has been taken mystically from the statement, when you have seen your brother and sister, you have seen your God. And now, while our minds are one for this brief moment, I leave you with the eloquence of silence. And so it is. You know, I forgot. So work with me before the offering. Roberta I was going to say she just suffered she just had her birthday. And so, wow, I need to see a therapist. She suffered. So could we sing happy birthday to Robbie?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robbie. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Robbie. No suffering. Maybe for the next 20 minutes. Yes. Lovely. Lovely.
We're going to have some special music just for the offertory. And this is Sheri Kay, sister of Deb. Music has always been part of Sheri's life, from learning Hebrew songs and prayers from her grandfather, who was a cantor, singing while her sister Deb and brother played the guitar, to also playing instruments, including the tuba, in high school. Over the years, Sheri has found ways to keep music in her life through chanting, playing the flute, in yoga and grief work, and over this past year, learning the hand pan, which she often plays for the dying.
I think that this talk will trigger some things to think about as we go forward. You know, as a country and as and individually speaking as well. And you know, it's like nothing new, but maybe to remind you of some things. The mystic Julian of Norwich, holding an acorn in her hand in the 14th century, said that in this is all there is. There's everything there is. It's a profound statement, to be sure, for in every seed lies the components of all life that our world has ever known since the beginning of time. In every seed is the gift of life for those who are seeking life, wanting life, and even those being denied life. The philosopher Martin Buber once wrote that if he knew that the world would end tomorrow, he would still plant an apple seed. It's a statement and insight that defies despair, which is what I'm asking you to do. Of myself as well. It promises new life in the midst of the old. When human beings began cultivating seeds, wheat, rice, beans, flowers, and consuming their bounty, our lives grew longer. Natural foods contain the spirit of life. However, today, we approach the seed for business reasons or for personal interest. So we often try to manipulate seeds for the money or for science or for other reasons. And our collective egos, collectively speaking now, make us think that we can manipulate nature. And therefore, we come to think that we can manipulate life itself. Nature is not simply a tiny seed isolated by itself. It's connected to everything. It's the interdependent web that we as UUs like to talk about, including the soil. It includes the water. It includes the weather, as we were reminded of. We must learn to honor the seed and to remember the wisdom that both you and I were born with. Seeds are what are most essential to life. They nourish us. They sustain us. And as Encore reminded us that, we are the seeds. It's not a private fight now. Anybody can get in it. And so for centuries, the planting of the seed in the earth symbolized the mystery of life and the journey of our own souls. Granted, not a scientific word, but real nonetheless. And so through a descent to the underworld, life was regenerated. And through the darkness, we're reborn. For those of you who are Scorpios, you know that the phoenix, right, rises up from the ashes. That Plutonian energy of the underworld. They always land on their feet because Scorpios know how to reinvent themselves. In our current supermarket life of prepackaged products, far removed from the cycles of planting, we have forgotten this mystery. Yet it remains within our psyches as one of the most symbolic and nourishing stories because its connection with, that's what Easter's all about. This is what Christmas is about, this born and being reborn, this rebirth. And now, as the integrity of the seed is threatened, so is the story. So is the narrative, because when it's all said and done, folks, you and I will simply wind up being stories. We'll just wind up being narrative. And that's not a bad thing. This is the cycle of life. Individually and collectively, we tell our stories. The fact that we have to fight now for something so essential to life as the integrity of seeds speaks to the real drama of the present moment. That we have to fight to preserve what is most fundamental and what is most sacred to life. We have to protect the earth and our own lives from a culture that has polluted and desecrated both the inner and outer worlds, and that seeks to control life for money, for just profit and power, the usual suspects. It is vital that we hold on to the actual seeds of our physical nourishment, as well as holding on to the symbolic meaning that nourishes our inner selves. because this is how we nourish our inner life and our own bodies. Life itself is asking us to save what is most sacred from civilization. I'm using the term loosely. That a civilization that has lost its way, that has lost its connection to the earth and the symbolic dimension of what it means to simply be human. This is what happened last week. It's not the first time it's happened. That's why I can keep my humor. I mean, this is not the first time I didn't get my way, you didn't get your way. Civilizations rise and fall. It's just that now we don't have to read about them and discuss them. Now we're going to be living in it. And then people will write about us and our choices. We need to remember that the seed and what we call the soul are connected, and they belong to the future as well as the past. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Our ancestors have been through this, and worse, believe it or not with the technology so much. And so you just go back and look at those lives, reread, and learn. There's wisdom there. There's wisdom there. You do this for our children and for our children's children. We cannot afford to lose that connection. The story of the seed gives us hope in this time of shadow. And we live in the wasteland of a materialistic culture where in the midst of images of abundance and plenty, we have to search far and wide for meaning. And the story of the seed tells us of a regeneration of shadows in the darkness. So you're not angry about this until February, where you got to take an X-Lac or some Tums or something. Don't give away your power like that. You grieve it, 7 times down, 8 times up, the Zen proverb tells us. This is not over. It may feel like it, but it's not. People before you, just like with the hurricane, we rebuild, It just feels that way because it's happening to you and to me, but we're not unique. It's a historical amnesia, and we think it's just us. Like Sue reminded us, Bill's partner last week in Thailand, that she was seeing what was happening here, and we get, wow, this is terrible. It is, but it happens all over the world. It happens. If we as a species and individually can stay true to the sacred and meaning of life, it will help us come to a place of rebirth, a place where both the inner and outer worlds meet. And so working together with the earth and with each other, we can hold on to the wonder and mystery of life. So in that way, we're all Johnny Appleseeds, in a way. But did you know that not only was he sowing seeds for apple orchards, he was also giving us a spiritual lesson. He was giving us a spiritual lesson. The teachings of the Swedish theologian Emanuel Swedenborg, he helped us reveal a new understanding of Christianity. He told people that he had good news. And so we have good news. We just need to be telling folks about it. We have good news. Unitarian Universalism is a gospel of good news. We are told in the Christian tradition that the kingdom of heaven is like a child. In Taoist philosophy, we're told the same thing. In Taoism, the highest achievement is cultivating oneself to become like a child. Not childish, but childlike. So we're told this in both traditions. Why? I'm glad you asked. You're still with me. It's going to come to I'm all over, but it'll come. But because a child is, I don't really like the word innocent in this, but a child has an open mind. And a child can always look at the possibilities. I don't mean to say a child is innocent, but what does that mean? But there's opportunities and there are possibilities. In nature, we see that in the seed. One of the most profound principles of the Taoist symbol is the yin-yang symbol. You've seen that. The simple black and white symbol. It captures the entire workings of reality. It's an elegant symbol. It tells us that everything has what? A positive and there's a little black in the white and a little white in the black, right? And that can mean whatever it means for you, but that's what life is. It's not always going to go your way. That the positive and negative energies can work in harmony because they're really inseparable. And they're interrelated. And believe it or not, they're complementary to one another. So as we go into this time of shadow, we know that we can hold on to light. I mean, prophets knew this. They knew that, and that's why the church didn't like them, and they would hang them and cut out their tongues and whatever, because they knew that I can get in touch with a terrible energy. I can do that. And I don't need a priest or an imam or a rabbi, and that makes people dangerous. Taoist philosophy helps us understand that everything is interconnected beyond the five senses that we talk. Thousands of years ago, they knew this, that this was inseparable. And so once again, Jesus tells us about what it means to cultivate these seeds. In the parable of the sower, he tells us about the human heart. And the heart is what? The receptive part of the soil. And there's a message of love there that he's trying to communicate. The soil that the seed fell on represents the human condition that we're in now with our MAGA brothers and sisters who, they think that they're fighting for their lives and we think we're fighting for ours. Both things can be true, but it's the intentionality behind it. See, we don't want to come from fear. And that's different from saying, I'm not saying there's nothing to be afraid of, but it's about the intentionality. And so Jesus, the teacher Jesus, talks about the human heart, the hard heart, the shallow heart, the crowded heart, and the fruitful heart. The parable goes like this. The same day that Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea, great crowds gathered around him. Of course, they want to be around this energy. And so he got out of the boat and he sat down. And the whole crowd stood on the beach. And he taught them many things in parables. Now, if you go back and read those stories, a lot of the things he told the people, but when he went back with the disciples, he unpacked it, but because he knew how to meet people at their map of the world. Didn't make them bad people, but if they couldn't understand, what was the use of laying this stuff on them? But in this case, he says, a sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came in and devoured them. And other seeds fell on rocky ground. They didn't have much soil, and immediately they sprang up, but there was no depth in the soil. When things got tough, they quit. They didn't have the spiritual depth. And when the sun rose, they were scorched. And since they had no root, they withered away. We may know people like that. When things are going good, they're just as spiritual as the day is long. But when something trips them up, oh man, this is supposed to be all sweetness and light. Other seeds fell among the thorns. The thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and produced grain, some 60, some 100, some 30-fold. He or she who has an ear to hear, he says, let them hear. So it wasn't for everybody. Some people heard what he said, but it didn't go deeper. Doesn't make them bad people. I got to keep telling you that. It's just that some people are more or less evolved, older souls, whatever way you want to put it. And you got to remember, I may be more evolved now, but at one time I was probably that way. I couldn't hear it. The meaning is this. There's the hard heart. The seed falls along the wayside. People hear this message of love from the universe. Jesus calls it the Father. Call it what you want. But they couldn't hear that the universe loves them, so they didn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. They weren't there. Then there's the shallow heart. The seed falls on stony ground. They hear the message with joy and they love it, but because they're not rooted or grounded or things don't go their way, they give up. Next is the crowded heart. The seed that falls on the ground gets choked by the weeds. These people, they just get so caught up in the world, the distractions. They don't know how to turn off MSNBC. They don't know how to turn off Fox. They keep every day, and then they pour caffeine on top of it, and then they wonder why their day is the way it is. But finally, there's the fruitful heart that receives the message. The seed falls on good soil and the plants produce a rich harvest. And we are the ones who get to decide what kind of soil our hearts will be. We get to decide that. Not Pennsylvania Avenue, not Wall Street, okay, not Montreat. We get to decide. It's a choice. And not making a choice is a choice. There'll be rough and challenging times, and our hearts have to remain strong. Oh, look. Look in the mirror. Oh, look in your distress. Life remains a blessing, although you cannot bless. Oh, stand at the window as the tears scold and start. You must love your crooked neighbor with your own crooked heart. You know, this is what Arden tells us in his poem Another Time. So you see, the heart has a different way of perceiving. It doesn't conquer, it doesn't divide, it connects with this seamless reality. And so we play it off against the mind. So, oh, Michael, he's stuck in his head. Or, you know, the young folks say, well, Michael, I can't talk to you, you're just in your feelings. Well, yeah, I am, but the balance, we're talking about the balance of heart and mind. This is dualist thinking for sure, but in the wisdom tradition of the Bible, the heart is the seat of the will. Pharaoh, I can't get too much into this is a whole other sermon. Yahweh hardens his heart, so he manipulated him. First day with new lips, he controls it, manipulates. And you want to know why? You're cheating. The man, maybe he wants to soften his heart. You harden his heart, and then he kills all the Hebrew people. But that's another story. But you get it. The heart was the seat of the will then. It wasn't about the mind. And so the heart picks up reality in a much deeper way than our poor Cartesian, Newtonian minds can ever really fathom. But that's what it is. And it's time to go, so I'm skipping over this stuff. Yes. There'll be times when it seems that death is the great ruler, right? The forest dies for the sake of loggers. Great fish die for the sake of caviar. The fields die for the sake of fracking. Human beings die for the sake of money, and people die because they just don't have enough food or sustenance. All these things threaten us. And we've become so accustomed to destruction in the name of progress that now we are commercializing seeds. We are politicizing seeds. We are monopolizing seeds. We are genetically altering seeds. And we're using them for military reasons for the 21st century. So it's all a matter of valuing the money we can make today rather than the lives that maybe we can save in the future. This is a little longer than I thought, but you got my gist. What else can I lay on you? Basically, I'm just asking you, in this time, we have to envision a different world. We have to envision a better world. We always have to evolve. But what kind of seeds are you sowing? What kinds of seeds will you be sowing after January 5th? November 5th. What day is that? November 5th. That was the messed up day. So, as we move forward, you have to ask yourself, what seeds are you sowing? What you gonna do? Well, we're gonna weep and wail on Thursday, and you probably do that before, but after a while you gotta get up and dust yourself off, and you gotta get on with life. The Roman philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius tells us that the constant awareness, you have to remember this, that life is change, that everything is born of change. You have to remember that. This is not new. Life is change. It's crucial for your sanity. The knowledge that he says that the knowledge that there is nothing nature loves more than to alter what exists and make new things like it. That's what you got to hold on to that. All that exists is the seed, and what will emerge from it, and what will emerge from you. You think the only seeds are the ones that make plants and children? You have to go deeper. We are either seeds of a new humanity or of humanity's decay. And it's a choice. It's a conscious choice that depends on who we are and what we're going to do. We may do nothing. And you said it, Ro. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds. We are the seeds of our own life and the life of the planet as well. And if it is true that you really do reap what you sow, and that is true, that's not philosophy, that's physics. That's physics. What you put out to the world comes back. The way you look at life is the way life will treat you. What kinds of seeds are you going to plant? What kind of seeds are you going to sow? What kind of seeds do you want to reap? Because as Sister Julian of Norwich reminds us, in the seed is everything that is. That's it. That's it. I'm sorry, I went a little over, but it's all good. So, hymn number 100, really sing this, let it sink in. Number 100, nothing's going to shake you. Nothing's going to take your peace as we go through what we have to go through. Number 100, please stand.
After the hymn, please have a seat so you can hear Encore's last song.
All right. All right. let's give Encore, some love, and Linda, some love, and give themselves some love. So this is what we'll do. We're going to live simply and gently. We're going to be gentle with ourselves, and we're going to be at home with ourselves, and either we're going to speak the truth or keep your mouth shut. Pray peace for all the people in the world, beginning with ourselves, and as you go forth with the dream of peace, keep that and be that peace. Keep that alive in your heart. And it's 4 years. We've been through, we'll be okay. But we got to take care of each other. I'll see you Thursday too. And we got each other. And maybe that's all we ever really needed anyway. So, I'll see you Thursday.
All right, this last song that we have for you, we were really hoping it was going to be celebrational, but instead it will be aspirational. We're going to keep on back. It's called Put a Woman in Charge. Way back when, in the beginning of time, man made the fire in the wheel, from a horse to an automobile. He said the world is mine. He took the ocean and the sky. He said the water. He don't stop till he owns it all. Here we are, standing on the brink of disaster. Enough is enough, enough is enough. I know the answer. Put a woman in charge.
Put a woman in charge.
Put the women in charge.
Put a woman in charge.
Yeah, put a woman in
Put a
charge.
woman in charge.
Put the women in charge.
Put a woman in charge.
Yeah. I'm not strong. We've got to turn this world around. Call them mothers, call them daughters. We need the sisters of mercy now. She'll be a hero, not a fool. She's got the power to change the rules. She's got that something that no man. She is kind and she understands. So clap the ladies, do what